What if extinction is not as final as we thought? What if, deep in our planet's undiscovered corners, dense rainforests, icy wastelands, and limitless oceans, something ancient still lives? What if some of the most amazing animals on Earth never really disappeared, hiding in the most untamed places on Earth? Under the Amazon's canopy, beneath Siberia's ice, or deep in African swamps. Scientists, villagers, and adventurers have conjectured about impossibilities for centuries. Shadows moving through the fog, calls resonating from a place no human dares to tread, and footprints too recent to be fossils. For decades, explorers, scientists, and even regular travelers have claimed encounters of species long thought extinct. Others dismiss them as myths. Others swear to what they witnessed. Today, we'll be discussing 7 extinct animals that may still be alive. 7. Megatherium, the giant ground sloth. Locals in South America's tangled rainforests tell stories of a monster that moves like a boulder that came to life. They name it the mapinguari, a creature with thick fur, machete-sized claws, and a scent that can make a man faint. To scientists, this sounds strangely familiar. The Megatherium, a massive ground sloth that inhabited the continent roughly 10,000 years ago. Imagine an elephant-sized sloth rising over 20 feet tall on its hind legs, pulling branches from trees with its bent claws. Despite its intimidating stature, it was a benign giant, a herbivore who ruled the Ice Age woodlands. Fossils reveal that it became extinct when humans arrived in South America. But here's the twist. Legends of sloth-like monsters persisted for generations later. In 1893, explorers in the Amazon discovered claw marks on trees 10 feet tall, fresh ones, too young to be fossils. Even 20th century hunters in Brazil reported seeing a hairy, red-furred monster walking through the forest. Could the Megatherium, or something similar, be hiding in the Amazon basin's deep, unexplored forests today? After all, more than 80% of the Amazon remains undiscovered. 6. Thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger. The thylacine is one of the few extinct animals that still evokes strong feelings in people today. This striped, canine-like marsupial was hunted to extinction in the early 1900s after once skulking over Australia and Tasmania. In 1936, Benjamin, the last known thylacine, passed alone by himself in a cage in the Hobart Zoo. However, the tale did not stop there. Reports of striped shadows sneaking through trees and hikers hearing the uncanny cough-like bark of an unnatural predator have been circulating from Tasmania's untamed bushlands for decades. A park ranger reported seeing one in 1982, describing its slender physique, stiff tail, and characteristic stripes. Following several consistent sightings, scientists even started a formal inquiry in 2017. And recently, strange four-legged critters with distinctly thylacine-like dimensions were captured on trail cameras. In contrast to other cryptids, the thylacine's survival isn't particularly remarkable. Tasmania's isolated, rocky, and sparsely inhabited landscape is ideal for concealing a small population. Some biologists even think that a small number may have remained undiscovered and are just waiting to be found again. A species that has been proclaimed extinct, but is just hiding. 5. Pterosaur, the aerial mystery. The following entry features a true ruler of the skies. The pterosaurs, among them Quetzalcoatlus, with a wingspan stretching an astonishing 36 feet, the size of a small airplane. Standing more than 10 feet tall on the ground, it could look down on a man the way a giraffe does. a giant of the prehistoric world, the largest flying creature ever to take to the air. The pterosaurs, huge flying reptiles that ruled the sky for nearly 150 million years, are thought to have perished alongside the dinosaurs. However, sightings of winged animals that resemble them continue to circulate in some regions of the world. In Papua New Guinea, natives talk about the ropin, a massive, leathery winged creature that glows dimly at night and hunts fish near the coast. The descriptions match no known bird or bat. Wingspans of up to 20 feet, long tails with diamond-shaped tips, and a beak full of teeth. Strange forms have been seen gliding silently after dusk, according to missionaries, pilots, and even biologists. Some people report seeing bioluminescence, or glowing underbellies, similar to those of deep-sea organisms. The consistency of these reports over decades is unsettling, notwithstanding the detractors' claims that the birds are misidentified. Could a pterosaur lineage have evolved into nocturnal creatures or developed underground nesting habits to adapt to living on a distant island and prevent extinction? The fossil record doesn't support it. However, there are still mysteries in the skies of Papua New Guinea. 4. Mokele Mbembe, the last dinosaur of the Congo. We now journey to Central Africa, where one of history's most lasting legends lives beneath the waters of the Congo River Basin. They call it Mokele Mbembe, which means the one who stops the flow of rivers. It is described as a big gray beast with a long neck, a crocodile tail, and an elephant body. It sounds almost identical to a sauropod dinosaur, the same family as the Brontosaurus. Western adventurers began hearing about it in the early 1900s. When scientists showed local tribes images of prehistoric animals, they pointed to the sauropods and exclaimed, "That's it! That is Mokele Mbembe." Several expeditions have looked for it over the years, with some discovering unusual tracks and others hearing tremendous splashes ringing through the jungle nights. A 1980 expedition even reported seeing a large beast submerge before their canoe could approach. Skeptics claim it's only hippos or crocodiles. However, the Congo's marshy interior remains one of the least studied locations on Earth, a maze of waterways where something ancient could still hide, something that never got the signal that dinosaurs are extinct. 3. Woolly mammoth. Science and legend collide. The woolly mammoth, the hairy, tusked relative of contemporary elephants that dominated Ice Age grasslands, is one of the few animals that evokes human imagination. Fossils indicate that the final mammoths died on Wrangel Island approximately 4,000 years ago, during a time when Egypt's pyramids were already in place. Since then, however, odd rumors have emerged from Siberia's frozen borders. In the 1920s, Russian hunters reported seeing hairy, enormous elephants cross frozen rivers. At night, one explorer reported hearing trumpeting sounds reverberating around the tundra. The enigma has only been heightened by modern technology. Permafrost continues to thaw, revealing perfectly preserved carcasses with entire tissue, hair, and even blood. Since some researchers have discovered intact DNA, there has been considerable discussion about reviving mammoths through cloning. Scientists are currently attempting to bring the mammoth back through sophisticated cloning techniques, through biology. The strategy? Introduce mammoth DNA into Asian elephant embryos, which are their closest living cousins. If it's effective, we might see mammoth hybrids roaming the planet once more in our lifetimes. However, what if we are not meant to? What if a tiny herd survived, silently wandering out of sight in the vastness of the Siberian forest, which is bigger than the whole United States. This might seem likely, however. We originally believed that the coelacanth, a fish that has been extinct for 65 million years, had also vanished, until someone managed to capture one alive. 2. Megalania, the giant lizard of Australia. If you ever find yourself traveling across the Australian outback and think you're being watched, you might be. Meet Megalania, the enormous lizard who once controlled Australia's plains. It was a cousin of the Komodo dragon, but twice the size, measuring up to 23 feet long and weighing more than a ton. Its jaws were capable of crushing bone, and its saliva, like that of modern monitor lizards, most likely contain dangerous pathogens. Megalania is thought to have perished roughly 40,000 years ago, around the time the first humans arrived in Australia. However, Aboriginal stories describe a creature called the Goanna Bunyip, a huge lizard that devours animals and takes people into the forest. Throughout the 20th century, ranchers in Australia claim to have seen reptile giants pursuing livestock. According to one story from the 1930s, an enormous scaled beast crossed a gravel road close to Queensland, leaving behind clawed tracks that were too big for any known mammal. The Komodo dragon is currently the largest lizard alive, but if the stories are to be believed, there may yet be a larger, more vicious cousin of the Komodo dragon hiding within the outback's boundless red plains. 1. The Nandi Bear, or the Megatherium. Finally, we reach the most bizarre story of all. The Nandi Bear, a nocturnal predator with the power of a gorilla, the body of a hyena, and a terrible cry like that of a human, has long been feared by the people living in the highlands of Kenya. It is reported to prey on animals and even humans before disappearing into the night before sunrise. The accounts were rejected by British colonists until explorers in the 19th and early 20th centuries started to describe similar experiences. The Nandi Bear, however, may not actually be a bear, according to some cryptozoologists. They think it might be a remnant of something far older, like the fabled Siberian unicorn Megatherium. Megatherium was a huge horse-sized rhinoceros with a single horn up to 3 feet long that became extinct approximately 39,000 years ago. A blink of an eye in evolutionary time. Fossil evidence indicates that they coexisted briefly with early humans. Consider this: a creature powerful enough to charge through Ice Age tundra, with a horn capable of impaling a mammoth. Some stories of shaggy horned monsters in remote areas of Central Asia and East Africa match that description, far from the Siberian steppe where Megatherium fossils were discovered. Could two stories, the Nandi Bear and the Siberian unicorn, represent warped memories of one living bloodline? There is no proof yet. However, where mythology and fossil data meet, mystery typically remains. So, what are your thoughts? Are these creatures actually extinct, or have some merely learnt to hide from us? From the cold tundras of Siberia to the murky swamps of the Congo, nature has repeatedly demonstrated that it still harbors secrets, some of which lie just beyond the light of a fire. We've rediscovered animals that were previously thought to be extinct, such as the coelacanth, giant panda, and takahe. Perhaps one day, the jungle, desert, or night sky will disclose another. If that day arrives, which of these species do you hope to see return? The towering mammoth? Or is the mysterious Thylacine? Or perhaps the last surviving dinosaur? Please let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy solving puzzles like these, remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tales of the unusual, the lost, and the almost forgotten.